Okay, Holly, so what you should have done so far is added codes to 4 transcripts. And now what are you going to do with those codes? So now what you would do is follow a process of data reduction and analysis. Data reduction might be identifying redundant codes and consolidating them. So going back to my last example, suppose you had fear, 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 and anxiety, anxiety, anxiety. You might say, well, that's really the same thing, and I'm going to change all the anxiety codes to fear codes. You might, by the end of the process of coding, realize that some of your codes really are not what you like. It might be that something you read later and coded later influenced the way you were seeing earlier coding, so you might go back and revise your codes. Right? So getting rid of redundant codes and revising some of your codes would be step 2. You might also, in addition to eliminating redundant codes, you might say kind of the opposite. You might say, well, I've coded 50 things with the word fear, and I really need to do a little bit, I need to break that up a little bit. And I'm going to actually say these 10 quotes were about fear, and these 10 quotes were about anticipation. So the idea is you don't want to have one code that represents so much that it doesn't actually represent anything, or the opposite, that you don't want to have too many codes that really could be simplified down to a few. Right? How you figure that out is up to you. But step 2 is data reduction to simplify your codes and revise your codes. So I want you to go ahead and do that. You're probably going to want to resave the Word documents after you've saved them once. Save them again to show the change in coding in step 2. Also, as part of step 2 is I want you to identify themes from your codes. So let's say after you've done all this coding, you have, say, 15 codes. And what you do is you look at, you kind of break the data up by the codes. Let me read all the codes for all the text that go with code 1, all the text that goes with code 2. You really would cut and paste it into a separate document so it's organized by codes. And that would allow you to do some thematic analysis. What does this text tell me when I look at it thematically across the codes? So maybe on the top of your Word document, after you've done the coding and the recoding, I want you to come up with 1, 2, or 3 themes that you find from doing this inductive data analysis. All right, so you've done inductive data analysis, and now I'm going to ask you to do deductive data analysis with the same text. You really need a fresh copy of the text, so I'm going to send you directions by email, since I didn't think of saying it earlier, about saving multiple copies. For deductive, we're going to start with a theory. And the theory that we're going to use is the SAMR model, S-A-M-R. And again, I'm going to send you the theory. And basically, it's 4 ideas about how to use technology. And I want you to try to apply that theory to the transcribed text. It may fit very poorly. It may fit very well. I have no idea. But try to code the data just using the SAMR model, not other ideas that you have, because for this experience, I want you to be theory driven. You're driven by the theory of SAMRs. You're just looking for evidence of SAMR in the transcription. Right? So you're going to follow the same process of coding, but again, this time you're coding just for the SAMR model. So after you do this, post your work to D2L, call it SAMR coding or something like that. And pause the video now, or actually I'm going to end the video, and the last video I'm going to show you is going to try to wrap it together.